So welcome back to the wonderful Isle of Lewis and Harris, and I'm really excited to show you guys this beach. Actually, this is really close to my cottage where I'm staying, and it just so happened to be the first beach that I came down to. We're over on the east coast to start the day. Oh, this beach is a cracker. So you can see in the background here, to start with, we've got this beautiful waterfall cascading down onto the beach. Incredible cliffs, tons of beautiful rocks to play around with gorgeous patterns on them. Super excited, and it's a gorgeous morning. I've got this sort of bank of cloud over on the horizon, but I'm waiting for the sun to come up and over them, and then we should get a little bit of light as well. Tide's on its way in, so I have to be a little bit wary. But let's crack on. Right, so we have a composition, and it involves this beautiful waterfall. I absolutely have to photograph him. What an incredible subject. Now the only problem is that it's a little bit tide dependent, so I've probably got to wait about an hour or so, maybe a little bit longer for the tide to come in, probably another 10 meters or so. I'm working with these sort of beigey coloured rocks you can see in the background somewhere. You probably saw me trying to work with some rocks where the waves were breaking a few moments ago. However, they weren't quite right, and I got battered by a rogue wave. You know, and the wave's just high enough to come up and over your boots and go down in and soak all the feet, so not ideal, but I'm delighted I've got this composition in the can. And yeah, it's just a case of waiting, so we've got tons more of this beautiful beach to explore. So let's crack on. So I'm right down at the far end of this beach now. I actually can't go any further because of the tide. I can't go around these cliffs. But I found this really cool little cave here, and although I don't think it's going to be an incredible photograph, I just thought it was nice enough to get the camera out, and I think if anything it's probably just something to pass the time before I go back and shoot that waterfall whilst I'm waiting for the tide to come in. But I also wanted to show it to you guys because it's quite cool, and it goes back pretty far. We go back far enough to be able to get the wide angle lens out and shoot it in a way that the cave is basically framing the scene out there, so that's pretty cool. It's framing it at the top of the image and at the sides, and then of course then we've got the beach at the bottom. Now the only problem I'm really having with this composition is we've got quite a lot of footprints knocking about, which just means it's not going to be, you know, clean and pure at the bottom of the image. So you can see I've tried to angle my camera upwards in a way to try and, you know, not include too much of this beach. It's probably only down there in the sort of bottom quarter, if not less. But yeah, quite a pleasant shot. You said I've got my 6-stop ND on the front as well, which is actually giving me a shutter speed of around about 30 seconds. Although in saying that, the waves and the sea isn't particularly exciting and rough or fast move or anything, so I think it's probably just going to be a nice subtle long exposure effect, if not nothing at all, to be honest. But we'll see how that one turns out. One thing I will say is I've really maximised my use of my histogram, so I'm right down at the end of the shadows, and right over at the right hand side for the highlights. So I think if I want to, I can increase the shadows to include some of the detail in this cave, because obviously the dynamic range is really high, which I may do because the rocks in here are actually really beautiful, and there's a lot of nice detail and texture, although I do like the silhouetted version as well, but we'll see how I feel once I get it in Lightroom. But yeah, nothing too exciting, but a nice pleasant image to start the day. So I must have only come probably about 10 minutes walk, 5 minutes walk even, from the cave where I got our last photograph, and it started raining. And basically what happened was I just came in this little area here to get a little bit of shelter. But the weather here on Lewis and Harris is so incredibly changeable, which makes for some awesome opportunities for landscape photography, of course. And what we had was the rain was very much a weather front that was kind of moving over us, and then it went out to sea. But then the sun came out on this area here, but you could still see that beautiful weather front out at sea, and it just so happened to be around this area where we had this cliff back towards this end of the beach where I was at the cave. And it was very much one of those where it was a scene that kind of unfolded before my eyes, and all my job was as a landscape photographer was to quickly get the tripod set up, get the camera smashed on the top, and try and grab the photograph and come up with some sort of composition, because it was just a complete contrast of weather fronts. Beautiful light here in the foreground, and then a complete like moody sky right off there in the background. You can even see some of the rain coming down from the clouds, which is absolutely awesome. So yeah, I just had a little bit of this cliff here on the left hand side of my frame. Then we've got this rock just kind of out on the beach there near the breaking waves, which is on the right hand side of the frame. Nice balance. And then right in the middle we had that cliff that's jutting out into the sea, and some of them beautiful moody skies. So very opportunistic shot, but I'm glad I managed to get it. And yeah, there might be a fair few images in today's video the way it's going, but I'll show you this one, and then I'm going to head back down to those rocks that I saw initially near the waterfall and see how far the tide's come in. Right, I'm set up, and I've completely changed my mind on how I wanted to compose this waterfall. What I was doing down on the beach was not working, so I decided to come up close and personal, and I've been dilly-dallying up and around the waterfall right next to it, just trying to figure out a composition where I can have the wide angle lens on, get the waterfall in on the left hand side, and then, you know, at least some of the beach in the background of the photograph. I've managed to get it here, but as you can see, I'm in a ridiculous position. Things you do for landscape photography. Standing under a waterfall on a Tuesday morning. Oh, wouldn't have it any other way. So, I'm managing to get this in one exposure. Probably quite obvious, but I'm shooting at 11mm as wide as I possibly can. So the waterfall is going to be in the left-hand area, let's say, of the frame. And then it's going to kind of lead off into the beach in the background, and I've got even a little bit of the sea in as well, which is fantastic. So pretty much every element that makes this beach so special, so I'm really happy with that. Camera's getting drenched, so I could probably not risk it, but it'll be alright. I'm shooting at f11, ISO 100 and 1/8 of a second, and oh god, that's gonna have to come off. I think I said I'm getting it all in one exposure. 1/8 of a second is a good speed to capture the movement in that water, so it's quite a nice milky, dreamy effect. Ridiculous. Right, I'm going to show you that one, and then I'll go back to the cottage for a bit, have something to eat, have a cup of tea, most importantly, and then I've got one, maybe two more locations in mind. I hope this shot was worth getting soaked for. How do I turn this on? Whoa, how's the old barns looking? Horrible. So be it. Guys, this is looking good. I parked up and it was a nightmare because this location that I'm trying to get to now, there's no information online, there's no footpaths on it when you look on the OS maps. I just didn't know how to get here. So, oh my god, this sea! I cannot wait to show you this. So I just picked out a road that was closest to it. I think I might be trespassing, which I never ever do. But I'm just taking the risk today because I don't know why. I have no explanation for myself. I'm just feeling brave. Oh my god. Look at this. Get a look at this. Oh, it's crashing. It's not even high tide. So the wind's coming in from the west. We're heading over to a subject that I think you guys are gonna like. That is unreal. We've got a bit of light. The evening's looking good. I'm absolutely shattered. Should be on for a good evening of photography. Oh, sorry guys, it's going to get a bit unprofessional because, Jesus Christ, there's something special going on behind me, oh god. So, I can't be dilly-dallying, the light's unreal, I can't afford to miss out on this shot, it is madness. I'll see you when I've got my camera set up, and I've probably already bagged the shot. Oh wow, I can't wait to show this to you as well. Top draw, top draw. Right, absolute madness. Wow, what a location, and what a subject wherever he is. Oh, I tell you what, this has been hard work. I missed out on the light, unfortunately, but unlike times gone by, I can't really beat myself up about it because I'd never been here before. I didn't have a clue what to expect upon arriving, and I just couldn't piece together that compositional jigsaw quickly enough to capture that beautiful light. So a little bit unfortunate, but as you guys know, and as I definitely know, just because something looks nice, just because there's a nice scene, doesn't mean you can just put the camera on the tripod and take a photograph and then go home all happy. There's still a composition to be solved, and unfortunately it just took me a little bit longer than I would have liked, but I'm set up now and it's still going to be a really nice photograph. I like the composition, and in all honesty, the sky is actually quite nice, even though the sun's gone down and we've lost the light behind them clouds. I've been shooting around about sunset time, so there was a few, you know, quite pleasant colours up there in the sky, so I can't complain too much. Now, I wanted to use my wide angle lens, but it's got like condensation on it or something from when I went out this morning, so I had to use my 16 to 35, shooting at 16mm, which is still pretty wide, and it's wide enough for what I wanted to do here. I just had to sort of step back a little bit, but oh my God, what a subject. This is an incredible natural archway looking out into the North Atlantic. Absolutely beautiful, and the waves, I mean the wind's coming in from the west, but I was not expecting this. These are the biggest waves I've ever seen in my life, and in all honesty, a little bit scary and a little bit sketchy, but absolutely incredible to photograph. So compositionally, I've had the archway pretty much on, let's just have a look, I'll have a little double check. I want to tell you everything right. Top left hand third of my photograph, and then what I've decided to do is come back away from the cliff edge a little bit. Firstly because it's a sensible thing to bloody do, but also because it was a nice frame. It went underneath the arch out there in the sea, and really helped to frame the bottom of the photograph. And then I found this kind of boulder which I've placed deliberately on the right hand side of my frame, just to try and get a nice bit of balance between the left hand side of the frame, which was quite heavy because that's where the archway was, and then the right hand side of the frame is where I placed that boulder, and it just balanced it out a little bit, which is nice. Settings, no filters or anything like that. F9, ISO 100, and then I've been bracketing, so my shutter speed has been changing. Just capturing the movement in these waves as they're crashing into the archway and all these beautiful sea stacks. Absolutely buzzing, absolutely amazing. I'll show you this shot. Really crossing the old fingers that it comes out all right, because I mean there's sea spray all over the shop. I mean I don't know if that's going to come out all right, but we can only hope. I think I might take another photograph. We're into the sort of blue hour now. I think it might be worth one more. I hope you like this shot. So, I must admit that I was feeling a little bit down like during taking them photographs and stuff, and about not being able to get the image and the way I was filming the videos. I don't know, but honestly, and most of you will already know this, what am I doing with this thing? Most of you will already know this. That is the true reality of landscape photography. Oh, the rain's coming now, even more like just harsh reality of it. It's not all fun and games, and that's what makes it so much fun. If I came out now and got a shot and went home and everything was fine, there was no wind, it'd just be boring, wouldn't it, if you just came out every single time and got awesome photographs? It genuinely would. Trials and tribulations, and this is just pure and utter reality. There's no other way to say it. So at least you're seeing that. I'm not going to take any more photographs because I feel like I've just run a bloody marathon. I'm absolutely shattered. And I'm going back home tomorrow, back down to England. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this Isle of Lewis and Harris series. I've had the time of my life. It's been awesome. Hopefully by the time I get home I've realised I've got some decent photographs. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers for the support. All the best. I'll see you on the next one. Out.